And so one of the first things the Non Human Rigth Project tries to do when we bring our cases in front of judges is make it clear from the beginning that human and person are not synonymous. That there have been humans who have been things, and there have been humans who have been persons, and there have been non-humans who have been things, and non-humans who have been persons. And that person is not a biological concept. Person is a legal concept. And a person is a being or an entity that a legal jurisdiction, that a country or a state believes ought to count.
Entonces, lo primero que hicimos dentro del Non Human Rigth Project fue traer a la conciencia de los jueces que justamente algunos seres humanos no eran considerados personas y que algunos seres humanos eran considerados objetos y que algunos objetos que no eran personas eran considerados personas y que algunos animales que no eran humanos eran considerados personas y algunos otros eran considerados objetos. Lo que nosotros queríamos era justamente traer a conciencia lo que era la definición de persona. Y lo que vimos es que no es un concepto biológico, sino un concepto legal, que indica un estatus, ¿sí? Un estatus, una capacidad que da, que confiere ciertos derechos.
And so, in 1985, I began to think of how we might be able to begin the process of getting legal personhood for at least some non-human animals, of breaking yet another hole through that wall and beginning to feed non-human animals through that wall from the side of things to going on to the side of persons.
Entonces en 1985 comenzamos nuestro trabajo para tratar de ver cómo comenzar con ese proceso de poder conferirle personería jurídica a animales no humanos y de alguna manera romper nuevamente con ese muro que veíamos a lo largo de la historia y ayudar a que esos objetos legales pudieran atravesarlo y pasar a ser sujetos legales.
And I thought, this is a big job. This is going to take a long time. And at that time, in 1985, I thought that it would take about 30 years until 2015 before I would be ready, and I'm hoping the organization that I would help form would be ready to file those first lawsuits, and the world would have come to a point where it would be ready to listen to what we had to say.
Y yo lo que en realidad advertí enseguida es, este es un trabajo enorme y va a exigir muchísimo tiempo y muchísimo esfuerzo. En 1985 pensé que esto llevaría muchísimo tiempo, llevó de hecho 30 años, hasta el 2015, para poder prepararnos, para poder estar listos y preparar nuestra organización para presentar los primeros casos, las primeras causas, para poder realmente realizar todo esto y concretarlo.
And so, part of the work that we had to do was to get the legal profession to understand what it is we were doing and respect the ideas that we were trying to put forward. And so I believe that many of those years would be taken up with writing articles, law review articles, with trying to become professors and teach classes, with trying to write books, trying to give talks at law schools and other places, and trying to do whatever we could so that lawyers and professors and judges would begin to understand what it was we were trying to do.
Parte de ese trabajo comenzó por abordar la profesión legal, para que ellos pudieran entender qué hacer y para que ellos pudieran empezar a respetar nuestras ideas. Y esto nos llevó años de comenzar a escribir artículos, años de comenzar a publicar esos artículos, años de comenzar a instruir, ¿sí? A dictar cursos, a dar clases, a volver a escribir publicaciones en la materia, a dar charlas en escuelas de derechos, para que abogados, para que profesores, para que jueces comenzaran a entender realmente qué era lo que nosotros queríamos transmitir.
And so I began to write some of these articles for law reviews, and I believe in Argentina, law schools also publish law reviews. Is that true?
Entonces comencé a escribir, a redactar estos artículos para lo que eran artículos de publicación o revistas de publicación sobre derecho. Considero que eso también ocurre aquí en Argentina, hay publicaciones en materia de derecho, ¿sí?
So I spent years writing articles for law reviews, and about 1998 I realized that nobody read any of my law review articles.
Entonces pasé muchísimos años escribiendo, redactando estos artículos, y allá por 1998 me di cuenta de que nadie leía esos artículos.
So I decided that I needed to begin to write books that people might want to read. And I had also begun in 1990 to teach animal rights law at the Vermont Law School. And then in 2000, I was able to take a great leap forward by being invited to teach the first course in animal rights law at Harvard Law School.
Entonces comencé a escribir un libro justamente que pudiera apelar al público, a la audiencia, y comencé además a enseñar. En 1990 di mi primera charla como profesor en la Escuela de Derecho de Vermont, y en el año 2000 comencé a dar ya lo que era derechos sobre los animales en la Escuela de Leyes de Harvard.
And my first book, called Rattling the Cage, Toward Legal Rights for Animals, came out almost simultaneously with when I began to teach at Harvard Law School. And in there, it set out the legal theory that I had been working on for the past 15 years.
Y mi primer libro, Sacudiendo la Jaula, salió casi en simultáneo con el momento en que yo comencé a dictar esta cátedra, estos cursos en lo que era la Escuela de Leyes de Harvard. Y marcó justamente un momento importantísimo, ¿sí?, para el que empezara a tomar cuerpo el movimiento.
And a second thing happened that I had hoped was going to happen, which was when my book came out, many prominent law professors in the United States began writing articles in which they said they agreed with me.
Y ocurrió algo, lo segundo que ocurrió, y era algo que realmente había ansiado que ocurriera, fue cuando se publicó mi libro. Muchísimos profesores de derecho que enseñaban esto comenzaron a leer y comenzaron a escribir artículos sobre mi libro.
But then I had to try to understand what sort of cause of action, lawyers would call it, at least American lawyers would call it a cause of action. When I want to go into a courtroom and try to argue that a non-human animal is a person, there has to be what we call a cause of action. There has to be some reason that I can bring a lawsuit. And I began to think in the year 2000 about a